welcome to the instructional video for Freedor unit. Hopefully this will be useful for you. It should be used in conjunction with our user guide that comes with the pack. First of all, I'd like to show you kind of what else comes in the pack. You have the closer arm. This is the main Freedor unit itself. You've got the radial arm, the battery pack, and all the various screw packs that come with it as well. As I say, you've got the user guide and fitting template, and also some stickers for the door itself. The tools that are required for the installation of Freedor are a ratchet with an 11mm bit to it, 13mm spanner, flat-headed screwdriver, posi drive 2 screwdriver, and a 3mm drill bit. Okay, when you've actually taken all the bits out, you then need to remove the cover from the Freedor unit itself. In order to remove the cover, you need to take off the screws on the top and also the bottom as well. Turn the unit over and then remove this section here, which is called the battery compartment. You may need to pinch in the sides just to remove it, like so. And then remove the cover. Then what you have here is the actual Freedor unit itself. Okay, the next stage is to fit this section here, which is called the radial arm. Now, depending on which side of the door you're fitting it on, whether it be the push side, which is the closing face of the door, or pull side, which is the opening face, will depend on the angle in which this radial arm is to be fitted. This can be checked in the user guide. Today we're doing a pull side installation, so that is the angle there which it's to be fitted to, with this nib here facing out 180 degrees, so that should be facing you when you're on the back of the door itself. The next section is to fit the bolt to the radial arm. So you need to take this out of the pack, and then this is the bolt which is used to actually clamp onto the radial arm itself. Now again, the position of this on the radial arm is dependent on, firstly, what side of the door you're putting it on, and secondly, whether at what angle you want the door to latch open at. So on this one, we're going to be doing it pull side, and it's what we call a clockwise opening door. So I can check in the user guide if necessary. I know on this one it's going to need to go fitted on round about that there, which is about latching open at about 90 degrees. So put the bolt in, put the spacer on top, and then the nut, screw that down using a 13mm spanner, and just make sure that's nice and securely tight on there. And then that's the radial arm setup. Now this section here I would recommend to actually use the user guide for, because as I say, there are lots of different positions. You can adjust the latching angle at a later date. If after you've actually fitted the unit itself you need to change the latching angle, that's no problem at all. Okay, then we've got to move on to the installation of the closer arm. Remove it from the packaging. And we're going to remove the bolts from the closer arm. And just remove that section there. And now we're looking to actually attach this part of the closer arm to the unit itself. Now, the screw that we use to attach it with is this one here in the pack, and that's the order in which it's sent out at. What you've got is the flat washer, 2 nylon washers, and then a smaller flat washer there. Now the order in which this actually fits onto the unit itself is very important. The nylon washers are what enables the door to actually free swing. So what we need to do is firstly place the screw through the hole with the flat nylon washer touching the closer arm there, and then with this nylon washer, which we call the top hat washer, that needs to be fitted so inside the square part of the closer arm there, and then that finally the flat washer goes on there. So you'll notice that the only parts that's actually touching the metal part of the closer arm is the nylon, and then when it's screwed up, that is what will allow the door to free swing. This then needs to be attached to the unit itself using your 11mm ratchet. What also is very important is that this is not over tightened. The kind of pressure that you're looking for is that there's no up and down movement in the arm, but it still can be relatively easily moved like so. If this is over tightened, it will not allow the door to swing freely. Okay, the last part of the assembly that you have to do is simply put a little cap on the bottom of the unit there, just to tidy that section up there. And there you have an assembled part of the Freedor unit. Okay, having pilot drilled your holes, you then need to select the right screws. Inside this pack here, the 4 wood screws there are for fitting the Freedor unit to the door itself. You have 2 slightly wider wood screws, and they're fitting the closer arm to the frame. And then also in the pack you have this bracket and these screws here. This bracket is for when the Freedor unit is being fitted on the push side of the door, and these screws here are for fitting it to the frame. The smaller screws are for fitting the arm to the bracket itself. The wood screws for fitting the Freedor to the door need to be screwed in, leaving around about 5mm to allow the Freedor unit to actually hang on to the door, and then they'll be screwed up tight at a later date. Right, so here we are at the doors that we're fitting the Freedor unit to. Just to cover what I mentioned earlier with regards to the terminology that we use for different kinds of doors. We have a clockwise opening door and an anti-clockwise opening door. To use this as an example, this is a clockwise opening door. There's 2 different sides of the door that can be fitted on. We call this side push side and the back is pull side. Now on the one that we're fitting today, we're fitting it on pull side, as I mentioned earlier. So it's going to be fitted up to the top of the door there. So whether the door is a clockwise opening door or anti-clockwise opening door determines what side of the Freedor unit the radial arm is fitted. So on this one, which is a clockwise opening door, you can see that it's fitted on top there, push buttons on that side there. You can actually see on the one that's fitted on this door, which is the anti-clockwise opening door, that the push button is on this side. So in effect, the whole unit is turned upside down and the radial arm is fitted on the top there. Okay. So now we refer to the fitting template. We are fitting this one on a clockwise opening pull side door. So what we need to do is firstly fold along that dotted line and then line that fold up against the underside of the frame, and then on here we're lining it up against the actual hinge point of the door itself. So when you're happy that it's in the correct position, you take your drill with the 3mm drill bit in and simply drill through the cross points in the template. Okay, so when all 4 holes are drilled out, you then need to open the template out and then mark your position for the closer arm to be fitted to the top of the door. Just find your position again and then simply drill through in the relevant holes. Now you can see in this instance the architrave that is fitted here is at quite a steep angle. What you need is the closer arm itself to be coming out as level as possible. So what we're going to have to do in this case is actually cut out a section of that architrave for the closer arm to sit in. Okay, so having fixed the closer arm to the frame and also fixed the 4 screws to the door, leaving approximately 5mm to hang the Freedor unit. It actually sits inside those eyelets and then comes down. So you can see that's sitting nice and straight, and now it's time to actually just do up the 4 screws. Okay, so that's now nice and securely fitted to the door. The next job is to actually reconnect the 2 parts of the closer arm. You simply just insert that section into there, same as you would with a normal door closer. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to actually secure the arm so that this part is 90 degrees to the frame. So you're looking at about that angle there. What this does, by just pulling it over slightly, it gives the door closer a bit of what's called pre-tension. So it just ensures that the door is going to close fully into the frame itself. So now it's all fitted, it's all secure. The next job is to remove one of the 2 springs that are holding this claw in place here. Now, the spring that you want to remove is going to be the one on the bottom here. So this claw is going to always spring in the upwards direction. The spring can be cut, or it can simply be removed by just undoing this nut and then taking that spring off there. Push that up. So now what you've got on top is you've got the claw, which is always spring back upwards again. Now it's all fitted in its correct position. What you need to do is to adjust the door closer mechanism to ensure that the door closes in a safe and controlled manner and fully into the frame itself. You've got 2 adjustments. You've got a closing speed and finally a latching speed. I believe the latching speed is the last 5 degrees of the closing sweep. So we'll have a look at the door now to see how it closes and then adjust as necessary. The 2 adjustments that I mentioned are actually on the side of the closer unit itself. You can see next to it 1 and 2. 1 closing speed, 2 is latching speed. So if we have a look, open up to about 90 degrees and have a look to see how it closes. Okay, and adjust as necessary. I'm just going to slow down the first part, the closing speed, and then just increase a little bit that latching speed. You may need to increase the latch speed quite high if you've actually got another door or actual latch it's closing into. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, the Freedor has an automatic nighttime release facility. This can be selected using the switches that are on top of the circuit board here. For different timings, refer to the user guide. The factory setting, as it will come out of the box, is with dip switch number 3 down. This means that the unit won't do any weekly self-tests and will actually automatically reset after responding to the fire alarm. Right, now it's time to put the cover back on, just ensuring that this battery lead is placed up over the top of the unit, tucked over the back, dangling down like that. And then the cover simply slots over like so. Then it's time to connect the battery pack together back in this fly lead simply by clicking that like so, and we're now connected. And you can hear it beeping. It's saying, okay, I've been connected to the battery supply, but as yet the battery lift hasn't been inserted. So now we need to insert the battery lift. Again, you can pinch the sides just to make sure that it sits in there nicely. And if the battery lead is coming down from the right hand side of the unit, just make sure that the corresponding lead from the battery is over the left hand side to save it getting tangled up inside. Tuck that in and simply push that up like so. Now you can hear it stop beeping, so it's confirmed that the battery lift has been inserted correctly. And just quickly, as a tip, it's a good idea just to check that claw is thrown back nicely. It's not being hindered in any respect. And now, line up the screws. And then do these screws up. Okay, so that's nice and secure. And again, just as a good measure, check that claw, nothing stopping that from springing straight back up again. And now it's time to put the last part of the cover on, which is the flat top cover. Needs to be put back on the top. Just being careful not to snag any wires. And again, line up the holes and then screw these down. And you'll have your cover fitted. Okay, so that's the cover fitted. What we want to do now is just place the Freedor sticker there, which is found in the pack. And that's just fitted. And that's like there, like that. So then that's all fitted to the door. What we want to do now is we've connected the batteries in, and we now need to push the button on the side, hold that down, and then it's going to go through its start-up sequence. You hear it beeping. Okay, and in a second you'll hear it switch between the magnets. So that confirms that the unit's happy. It's run through all its relevant self-tests that it does when it starts up. Then 4 seconds later, it'll beep and it'll click over. So this is now ready to be held open and latched in position. Now to actually put it into free swing mode, you have to hold it all the way back. You'll hear it latch over, and then it will hold in that position there. And now the door is now in free swing mode. So wherever you leave the door is where it will stay. You close the door all the way up. Now, this is during normal operation. It will remain in free swing mode. If you want to change it, so to put it back into just a door closer, simply push that button there, and it would revert back into a door closer. In order to then put it back into free swing mode, you have to push the button again, and again open the door all the way back until it latches over, and then you're back in free swing mode again. All the time that the unit is sitting in free swing mode, it's listening for the sound of the fire alarm. Upon hearing that fire alarm, the Freedor will release and revert back into door closer mode. The Freedor unit will listen once every 4 seconds. After approximately 15 seconds it will release and the door will close. Now 30 seconds after the unit has released, it will automatically reset. So all the end user has to do is come back, open the door all the way back, and it will latch open, like so. After installation, it needs to be tested against the fire alarms on site and to ensure that it's actually going to close and hear their alarm correctly. You can adjust the sensitivity on the Freedor unit. This is done by using the little black plastic screwdriver that comes in the screw pack. Simply insert it into the small hole next to the microphone holes. To increase the sensitivity, turn it clockwise. To decrease the sensitivity, turn it anti-clockwise. Right, that concludes the installation of the Freedor unit. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck.